Welcome to the Morning Update. I'm Erin Roan. Aussie teenagers aged 16 and 17 are now eligible for the COVID booster shot. The immunisation advisory body, ATAGI, has given final approval for the jab to be administered. The federal government confident there will be enough doses to meet the expected demand. The World Health Organization has again warned us not to be complacent about Omicron. It says 90 million cases of the new COVID variant have been confirmed in the last 10 weeks. That's more than in the entire first year of the pandemic. The Therapeutic Goods Administration has updated its advice for the use of rapid antigen tests. The regulator now says eating, drinking, smoking, chewing gum or brushing your teeth within 30 minutes of taking a test could give us a bogus result. Overseas now, US President Joe Biden is sending thousands of troops to Eastern Europe as the standoff between Ukraine and Russia continues. Pentagon spokesperson John Kirby says the US stands ready to defend its allies.
The current situation demands that we reinforce the deterrent and defensive posture on NATO's eastern flank. President Biden has been clear that the United States will respond to the growing threat to Europe's security and stability.
Tonga has closed its border and imposed a lockdown after recording 5 new COVID cases. 2 dock workers are among those infected. It is the first community transmission of COVID in Tonga since the pandemic began. And it is Groundhog Day in the US, as has been tradition for the past 130 years. Punxsutawney Phil was pulled from his burrow at Gobbler's Knob in Pennsylvania to make his annual prediction on how much longer winter will last.
Ladies and gentlemen, Punxsutawney Phil! I see my royal shadow. 6 more weeks of winter to go.
In sport, disappointment for Australia's first ever Olympic curling duo. Dean Hewitt and Tali Gill have lost to the US 6-5. They're up against China next. They're the first athletes in action in Beijing ahead of the opening ceremony at the Winter Games on Friday. The Western Sydney Wanderers have beaten the Perth Glory 1-0 in the men's A-League. In the women's competition, the Brisbane Roar lost to Sydney FC 2-0. And in entertainment news, Ricky Gervais is leaning into cancel culture. The British comic says he's going to try and get cancelled with his next stand-up special. It's appropriately called Armageddon. And that's the latest from the Nova Podcasts team. We'll see you this afternoon for another episode of The Update.